Evan,
Yo, yo, how are
how are
you?
you, man?
I'm great. It's so good to see you.
So good to see you too. I feel like the last time we actually saw each other was maybe the first week of March.
Yeah, because I went down to my parents' house in Florida for spring break with the anticipation to stay through Reggae Rise Up, and then
Yeah,
halfway through that is when everything started getting so real.
yeah, man. So you and I were at Arizona Roots together, and then we probably had 2 or 3 days left in the office in Charlottesville.
Yeah,
Maybe a whole week. I'm not quite sure
I
before
think.
you went down.
Yeah, I think we came back, 'cause then I got a little under the weather when we came back. So yeah, I think like 3 days in the office and then left, which is such a bummer that why did I have to get sick? I wish I knew it was the last week that we were actually going to be up there.
Me too, man. Me too. Well, hey, so for everybody watching, um, you know, Evan Button was Rootfire's intern. The way that you and I met is something that I just love it so much. I wonder if you could tell us the story about how tell your perspective on how that all came together.
Yeah, so at my college, we had to do a presentation on a independent record label, and that was kind of the first time I really found out what Rootfire was from doing research on that. So I shot an email to like the Rootfire at rootfire.net, not knowing like how many people were at the company or like anything about the structure, and um, pretty quickly you responded back and were like, I'd love to talk. So we set up a time to talk, and it was super cool. I think we went on for like an hour, which was so amazing that you were just like gracious of your time to just talk to some random dude who hit you up. And so found out about you guys through that, and then I went down to Reggae Rise Up a couple months later, and you guys had a tent there, and wandered up with my buddy Sean, and was talking to Bree, and it's like, yeah, I interviewed Reid for a class. And she's like, oh, he's right there. I was like, oh, what's up? So that was the first time we met, and it was super brief. I think it was St. Patrick's Day, probably.
Mhm.
So yeah, kind of crazy running around, but yeah. So kind of met you through that, and then I feel like we maybe stayed in touch a little bit after that. But then once I was looking for an internship, um, I knew I wanted to do it with you guys as soon as I learned about the company. So then when it came time for an internship, yeah, hit you up, and we started the process of talking, and yeah, that got us here.
Yeah, yeah. I remember each of those little moments myself, and when you hit me up about one of the things about a music business program in college is that part of it is that you interview somebody who works in the industry to write a paper on it, and you were maybe the second or third person I had ever done that with, and I remember you mentioning at the time, it's like, hey, well, eventually I'm going to need to do an internship, so I would love to do it with Rootfire. And I
Yeah,
remember thinking, like, sure, yeah, cool. And then, like, the next thing I knew, you were right in front of me at Reggae Rise Up at the booth. And at a festival, it's always kind of like, whoa, whoa,
yep,
whoa. And then it was like, oh, you're Evan. Okay, you're the guy. Yeah, great. Okay, cool. And I remember having this image, seeing what you looked like and who you were, and getting a feel for your energy. And I remember you hitting me up about, when it came time to find an internship, and I remember some reluctance on my part because we didn't have an official internship program,
right.
and I remember at some point uh, explaining that, and you're like, "That's okay." I was like, "Really? Great." And I remember being really struck by the fact that um, you were proactive enough to pursue an internship that didn't exist. And that to me is like, well, this guy's great. If he's proactive enough to go look for something that isn't right in front of him, well, that's awesome. And it reminds me of Danny Calv's conversation last night, or the night before, last night, I guess, talking about how he was in a music business program, and they said the one thing he shouldn't do is reach out to people directly. And one day he got a win to do that, and it was the Dust Brothers, and he got an internship, or he got a gig with them, and
nice.
Next thing you knew, he was recording Guero with Beck and the Dust Brothers, and it's all because he reached out for something that maybe didn't exist yet. And I will always have that as kind of like a defining memory of you, and the way that we got to meet each other was you just hit me up, and it's like, well, great.
Yeah. I mean, like, otherwise, outside of Rootfire, I didn't really know of other reggae companies where I could go do an internship besides going to California, which just was not a feasible option to go to the complete other coast. But it'll always kind of be funny to me that Charlottesville is where this all came together, because before I really understood what Rootfire was, the number one place I wanted to go for my internship was Red Light. And the second I found out about Rootfire, that switched. But yeah, both in Charlottesville. So it's kind of funny that just in a little mountain town, two awesome companies doing great things in similar and different worlds, and both super, super interesting to me.
Yeah. Charlottesville is a special place for sure. So you're down in Asheville, North Carolina now, but you actually moved to Charlottesville from January till more or less COVID.
Yeah, basically.
And so, it's so crazy to think about how quickly that time flew. You came into the office 5 days a week with me and with Gray O'Neill, who isn't on screen with us here, but obviously has been a huge part of the work that I do for the last couple of years. And I wonder if you have any reflections now, a couple months removed from it, on like what that day-to-day was like for you, and what were things that were surprising or rewarding or anything?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, of course, I had like the first day jitters, because I had no idea what to expect. But once I got in there with you guys, I was like, wait, these guys are totally cool and like similar, because like we all love this genre and like are invested in it. That definitely helped to put me at ease. And I'll always be like so thankful for how, like, if you guys had a call or a meeting with somebody in town, like you wanted me there, and after the fact you wanted to like hear my reflection of how that went, and like you valued that opinion. So I don't think I would have gotten that at necessarily a bigger company with more moving parts. I think just the whole nature of how Rootfire works was really the perfect fit, which I wasn't really expecting at all, because I had no idea what to expect. But just like getting to go out to Arizona Roots with you, and things like that, and then doing Rootfire TV and getting to talk to all of these artists and producers that I've looked up to for a while. It's just like, wait, like this is more than just like busy work at some office. Like this is actually like head in, like getting to work and really learn from you guys and learn what it's like to be in this industry.
Yeah. Your ability to jump in and just be yourself and be there, be present, and have an open mind and be willing to help out where we needed help and to lend your thoughts was really, I remember within the first day or two of you being there. I mean, we had already met in person a couple times. You had been to Charlottesville a month or so before the internship started to, sign the paperwork for your teachers and stuff. But I remember your, you were just sort of like a sponge and up for anything. And I just remember being like, yeah, cool. Like, Evan can hang. and we really all are just more or less regular people trying to do the best we can. And it's interesting how, as you and I were talking before we went live here, just kind of like once you kind of like get yourself in the day-to-day flow with people, it's kind of interesting how like everybody is just a normal person trying to do good work. And I remember us being at Arizona Roots, which is obviously the world of a festival is like a jam-packed weekend of craziness, but you also have like so many interactions with real people who are doing real work every day. And I remember Steel Pulse going on stage, and I think I had a different wristband than you did or something, so I could kind of go everywhere, but you couldn't. And I remember going up to Dan and being like, Dan, Steel Pulse is like one of Evan's favorite bands. Can we get him a wristband too? And like being able to bring you side stage there and watch Steel Pulse was something that I was just stoked. Not only that I was there, but like that's something that you could experience too. And there are just so many kind of moments of your experience that I enjoyed being along for the ride for. And that was really one of them for sure.
That's so awesome to hear. Like it's really cool to like have somebody that like a mentor that cares about like not just the work I'm doing for you and with you, but like the experience that I'm getting out of it. And yeah, like the Arizona Roots stuff was just insane. Like that whole weekend, whether it's like meet and greets at the Rootfire tent, or getting to go side stage at Steel Pulse, who like it's a band I've seen a good handful, like probably 5 times. And it's not a band that like I'll get to see forever. So to get that experience where I'm like that close and like seeing them really work their magic and do their craft was just like such a mind-blowing experience for me. Like never in 100 years would I have thought that I would have been side stage watching Steel Pulse play for a couple thousand people.
Yeah, super cool, man. So now you're down in Nashville, North Carolina. You've been down there for a month and a half or so, getting yourself established, working your day job now, working for Canvas Prints, right?
Yep. CanvasPrints.com.
Yep. And you're doing like social media and email marketing stuff for them, right?
Yeah. Basically run all the emails, design those, and control the different flows, and then create the content for social media and write the different verbiage for the website, and that's basically it. So it's cool, although it's not music industry, it's really awesome to still get to be creative in a job. Because that's something that not a lot of people get to do. So just like to get to go to work and be creative is just a great thing.
Yeah. And one of your creative outlets, of course, is music. You've got a new project called Lua Flora. Tell us about how you met those guys and how the project got started.
Yeah, so super excited about this. It's been a very long time in the works. Sean, who plays bass, and Charango for us. We've been playing together for 4 years or so. I met him like my first week at school when I went to Appalachian State. He was my section leader in guitar ensemble, and from there we just started hanging out all the time and playing music together. And then our mandolin player, who also switches off to bass, Hinton, he graduated a year or two before me, but Sean and him had been playing in a band together since their freshman year. So, they've been playing together for like 6 years. So although this is like the first formal setting where the three of us have gotten together, I feel like we have that chemistry that like a seasoned band that's been playing for a few years would have, because we all know each other and we know each other's tendencies and musicianship. And honestly, like I couldn't be luckier to be in a band with these guys. I mean, they're ridiculous. Sean, he has a knack for weird instruments that nobody else plays. Like with us, so he plays an acoustic classical bass called the contrabass,
Oh
and
yeah.
he plays a charango and a ronroco. They're both Peruvian instruments, kind of similar to a mandolin, um, and he's just insane. Like he's played at Carnegie Hall and has toured Iceland and France playing contrabass, and so to get to play with him, and then Hinton, plays every instrument. At school, he was a trombone major, and for us, he plays bass and mandolin. And you put something in front of him, and he'll play it, and he'll make it sound ridiculously good. So just to get to create with those guys is such a humbling and honoring experience, really.
Awesome, man. So you guys just put the band together in the last month or so, and you've put out a couple of videos so far, right?
Yeah. We finalized like on a name and everything a month ago. I mean, we had been working on that since like December, trying to find the right fit. But yeah, we launched this past Sunday, and the feedback has been awesome. We posted a like a little 1 minute clip of us just hanging out on the back porch, playing one of our songs, and um, yeah, we're planning on releasing videos every single week. Of just our acoustic jams, and kind of give you guys an inside look at what we're creating.
And what do you see, like, what are some of the short term and longer term goals, say over the next 6 and 12 months or so?
Yeah, so short term right now, next week the video that we're putting up is our fan version of Cali Roots Rhythm, which came out just about a month ago, I think, for the whole project. But in Adam Gross's session on Rootfire TV a couple weeks back, he was like, "Hey, totally do a cover of it and post it on YouTube." So we downloaded the instrumental track and wrote some lyrics and some different instrumental parts over it. So yeah, we've been working on getting that recorded and mixed. So we're planning on dropping that towards the end of next week, probably a week from today, honestly. And we'll just put that on YouTube. Then after that, we're gonna do 2 dub remixes from music I put out under my own name with Sean playing in the band and Hinton. Um, so we're kind of like taking those, rebranding them, and putting them out under this new project. And one of them's with our good friend Cultivated Mind from Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and another one with Victor Rice, who, as we were talking about, was somebody that I got connected with through Rootfire TV, and just another one of those people that's like it's like Easy Star All Stars, and like I just got to talk to him for a while and make that connection, and now he's producing a dub track for us. So that's coming up, and then once we can get playing shows again, we'll be ready for that for sure.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Well, I know you've got a couple of tunes to play for us. I don't want to bore everybody else with my mug here, so I'll get off the screen. But before I leave, the Rootfire TV sessions, which you were a huge part of creating, were really intended to help put money in artists' pockets to help fill the gap from touring. Now, the world has changed a lot just in the last couple of weeks. I know that you've decided, rather than putting in money in your own pocket, you've decided you want to donate to a cause. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so collectively, the band kind of decided that this money needed to go to the Black Lives Matter movement, and recognize that we're playing reggae music, and that we need to pay our respect to where this genre comes from. So yeah, we're going to be sending all the money, if you donate tonight, to the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund. Super great fund by an organization that, of course, everybody knows. And out of the sake of transparency, if you do donate, I will be posting a confirmation receipt of the money going to the NAACP. So make sure you pay attention to our socials if you donate, so you can see that money, your hard-earned money, going to that organization.
Awesome. Very, very cool of you guys. Well, Evan, I'm gonna skedaddle here and leave it to you to serenade us for a while. I look forward to hearing your music, and thank you so much for being here and doing what you do and being who you are. So with that, I'll say goodbye and sit back and enjoy your music for the next little while.
Sounds great. Thanks so much, Reid.
Yeah, thank you, Evan. I'll see you, man.